Hello, my dear second year pure science students. Today we are going to discuss CET topic relevant to the differentiation. So, in case of differentiation, theoretical things we are going to discuss. In case of UC first year, we are discussed recently limits, continuity, differentiation in case of UC first year, whereas the continuation part of first year we are going to consider in second year. So in case of second year, the basic concept again we are going to use, that is after completing limit concept, after completing or studying the concept of limit, continuity. I hope you people are very familiar with these two concepts, limit and continuity. In case of PUC first year, previous year, or in this present, recently around 10 to 15 days back, we have discussed the CET topic relevant to limit, continuity, differentiality of first year PUC. So the first year topic limit, whatever we have discussed, where the concept of limit we have discussed in detail. What is left hand limit, what is right hand limit, and what is the continuity of the function. So now we are going to study mainly continuity and differentiability of a function. So here, in case of continuity and differentiability, in case of differentiation, the basic thing required is, first concept orally I am explaining which things are required for studying the concept of differentiation. So the first thing is continuity of a function we are going to study. So next is we are going to study standard results of limits. So here, while solving the CET examples, we are making use the formula or results of limits. Those plays a very important role while solving the CET based examination or grade examination. So after studying that, we are going to study the definition of differentiation. That in case of this definition of differentiation, we are going to study what is LHD, what is RHD. So left hand derivative and right hand derivative. So next, we are going to study rules of differentiation. So in case of rules of differentiation, that is how to take the differentiation of sum of two function or difference of two function, or how to take if the two functions are in product. That one we are calling, in other words, product rule. Again, one more rule, quotient rule, that is making use when the two functions are in division. That one is called as quotient. So after that, very important thing from the second year PUC. So next we are going to study chain rule. So this chain rule is very useful to differentiate the function, new type of function. Actually, this type of function of differentiation you are not studying in case of PUC first year. The chain rule is very important, very useful to differentiate the function of the type composite function. So if the given function is composite, then By using the concept or formula or a rule, that is chain rule we are using. So next, if chain rule is not applicable, there are some examples, there are some function where we can't apply any of the formula, or in particularly composite function, differentiation is not applied to differentiate a function of the type. If for example, a function of the type x to the power x, here we can't apply any of the rule, any of the formula. You may feel that in formula, sir, we can use a quantity like this for this, but it is not possible because base is variable. Here index is constant. This is variable. This is constant. Whereas here the given function is both base as well as these two both are variable. So here any of the rule or chain rule cannot be applied to differentiate a function of this type. So therefore, new type of differentiation we are making use, or we are using, that one is called it as logarithmic differentiation. Logarithmic differentiation. So in other words, if any function of the type variable raised to variable, then logarithmic differentiation is used. So this is the next thing which we are going to study. So after studying logarithmic differentiation, we are going to study the concept of next differentiation, that is one. So chain rule we have studied, okay. So chain rule is used to differentiate a function of the type composite function. So after composite logarithmic function differentiation, to differentiate a function of the type variable raised to variable, we are using logarithmic differentiation. So after that, we are going to use one more differentiation of parametric function. So one more thing, in case of differentiation, this is very important, differentiation of parametric functions. So differentiation of parametric function. So x is a function of t, y is a function of g of t. So in this case, two separate equations they are giving. The name of these two equations we are calling it as a parametric equation. At that time, it is required to find a dy by dx ultimately. Then the concept of parametric differentiation we are going to use, that is nothing but dy by dx is equal to dy by dt whole divided by dx by dt, provided denominator dx by dt is not equal to 0. So next, for the purpose of CD, so here we can't expect the example which you have studied previously in the text, from the textbook or previous examination. The theoretical background we may use, but usually in case of CET or JEE, the examples are always new to you people. No question is not repeated. Concept remains same, but examples are not repeated. So for that purpose, they may give any type of function, just they are confusing to you people by giving the quantity in a different way. So ultimately we want to differentiate the given function, so we are making use some substitution. So given function is, we are going to differentiate by making use of substitution. So why we are going to make use of substitution? Because, so this thing we are going to study some standard. So next, so in case of 9, some standard derivatives, list of derivatives formula. So after that, 10th one is substitution. useful substitution, for finding derivatives, So here, don't get confused. Once again I am reminding this of 9th point. Especially in case of second year, we are distorting or we are studying the derivative of inverse trigonometric function. So in addition to algebraic function, x to the power n, a to the power x, e to the power x, log x, derivative of trigonometric function sin x, cos x, tan x, all these. So in case of second year PUC, we are going to study or we are going to list out derivative of inverse trigonometric functions. Inverse trigonometric functions. So derivative of inverse trigonometric functions we are going to use or list out to solve examples. So especially for that purpose we are studying the standard derivatives. So after that we are going to list that some substitution method we are going to use or apply to differentiate the given function. Why we are making use substitution for that given function? Because if you are going differentiating the given function directly, it takes time, one thing. Second thing is, there is no guarantee of getting the answer accurately, and immediately we are not getting, and as well as accurately also not getting. So if we are not getting immediately and accurately, it means that method is not so useful and it consumes more time. So for that sake, we are having the substitution method for the given function, and whole function we are very simplifying. That simplified quantity can be differentiated by using any of the standard formula, and within one step required derivative we are getting, and that is regarding the substitution method for differentiating the given function. So after that, so just I am list outing or point outing the quantities which we are going to study just now. So after that, next is second derivative. For you people, this thing is also there, second derivative. So here, what is meant by second derivative? So you know very well first derivative. You know very well that is the first derivative. You know what is the first derivative. If you know first derivative, the same thing comes in second derivative. But once given function, if we are differentiating, then that quantity we are calling it as a first derivative. So if it is possible to differentiate the given function once again, twice, in other words, if it is possible to differentiate the given function twice, then that quantity we are calling or differentiating the given function twice, that is called as a second derivative. So in addition to this, I am adding one more thing. So the given function may be y of the type y is equal to f of x. Then you people are very familiar with this symbolic notation. So here we are using this notation dy by dx for denoting derivative of a function y with respect to x. This is nothing but first derivative. I hope you people are very familiar with these variables. Y is a dependent dependent variable and x is independent variable, because the value of y is depending on x. The value of y is depending on x, whereas the value of x is not depending on y. In other words, the value of x is independent. So based on the value of x, the value of y go on taking. Hence, y is dependent, x is independent. So therefore, differentiation of dependent variable with respect to x, this one is nothing but first derivative dy by dx, So you may represent first derivative by dy by dx, or you may represent y dash, you may represent y1, you may represent f dash. So all this symbolic notation we are using for the first derivative. So in addition to this, what is second derivative? Just now we have explained, we have studied. So how the symbolic notation for second derivative we are using, if the given function is of the type y is equal to f of x, second derivative of the given function is represented by y double dash or y2 or what? Y double dash is over, y2 is over. So d2y divided by dx square or f double dash. So these are the different notations we are using in case of second derivative. So now let us study all these quantities one after the another. So as you people know that today only we are going to discuss synapses of relevant to the differentiation chapter. So after that we are going to study on tomorrow example based on this differentiation concept. Now synopsis of the concept differentiation. Beginning from, so here there is no first point I have explained to you. So here in case of differentiation, or to know or to understand or study the concept of differentiation, limit, continuity concept plays an important role in case of differentiation. So for that sake, in brief once again, continuity of a function, or we are going to study what is continuity of a point. Continuity of a function or continuity of a point. First function, what is continuity of a point? So here, what is continuity of a point or continuity at a point? If you want, you can write continuity of, instead of continuity of a point, you may write continuity at a point. Continuity at a point. Continuity at a point. So here a function f of x, a function f of x is said to be continuous at x is equal to a if left hand limit of f of x at x equal to a is equal to right hand limit of function f of x at x equal to a, that is equal to value of the function at x equal to a. In other words, this definition already we have studied in recent CET discussion of PUC first year. So LHL is equal to RHL is equal to f of x. You know that LH at the point A, for time being if I am taking at the point A, it means LHL is represented by limit extends to a minus f of x. This is equal to limit extends to a plus RHL f of x. This is equal to x is equal to f of a. So if any function f of x at the point a, if it is said to be continuous, then left hand side limit is equal to right hand side limit is equal to the value of the function at x is equal to a, then the given function is continuous at the given point. And here once again I am reminding, while calculating LHL, we are going to substitute x is equal to a minus h. While calculating RHL, we are going to substitute x is equal to a plus h. These two things you have to remember. So because in case of CET, these things are required. So at that time you may have a confusion that while calculating LHL, we may use it by a minus h. At that time don't get confusion. While calculating limit LHL, left hand limit, we have to substitute a minus h, and while calculating right hand limit, we are going to use x is equal to a plus h. These two things you have to remember. So similarly, after that, relevant to the continuity of a function, this is regarding continuity of a function. So next, in case of this continuity of a function, some properties are there. Those properties are also very important, because sometimes these straightforward properties also they can ask in the form of a question, or these properties may plays an important role while solving the exam. Okay. So in case of properties, every identity function is continuous. The first property relevant to the continuity function, every identity function is continuous. Remember, first point relevant to the continuity of a function, that is every identity function. Particularly, in generally function you are taken f of x, that function particularly if you are taking it as an identity, then every identity function is continuous. Next, every constant function is also continuous. Third property, every polynomial function is also continuous. Next example or next property, every rational function is also continuous. Next, last one, slightly important, all trigonometric functions are continuous. All trigonometric functions are continuous in their domain. So every identity function is continuous, every constant function is continuous, every polynomial function is continuous, every rational function is continuous, and trigonometric functions are continuous in the domain. So next, this is relevant to the continuity of a function. So after studying the continuity of a function, here the definition, especially the definition LHL is equal to RHL is equal to the value of the function x at a, is this definition, this quantity plays an important role. And after that, some of the results are also very useful. I have given this list also, then also I am reminding some standard results relevant to standard results of limits, because see, while solving the examples we need this formula. So without this formula we can't solve the example. So this is a very familiar formula, already we have studied. Limit x tends to a, x to the power n minus a to the power n divided by x minus a is equal to n times of a to the power n minus 1. This is the first formula. The second formula is very important one. Limit x tends to 0, sin x divided by x, this is equal to 1. Similarly, the third formula, limit x tends to 0, instead of trigonometric function sin tan x by x is equal to 1. Next, fourth one, so limit, this is also important one, limit x tends to 0, a to the power x minus 1 divided by x is equal to 1. This is the fourth formula. So fifth formula, that is limit x tends to 0, log of 1 plus x divided by x, this is equal to 1. Next, sixth formula, limit x tends to 0, a to the power x minus 1 divided by x. Otherwise, I'm going to write 6 here. Slight 6th I'm going to write down here. The 6th is limit x tends to 0, a to the power x minus 1 divided by x is equal to log a. Try to remember. So 7th formula, limit x tends to 0, limit x tends to 0, 1 plus x whole to the power 1 by x. This is equal to e. Next, one more similar type, that is limit x tends to not 0 but it is infinity, 1 plus 1 divided by x whole to the power x is equal to e. So these are the formulas we have studied usually in case of UC first step. Then also I am reminding to you people, no problem, these are very important basic formulas of limits. So after this, next relevant to the continuity of a function, algebra of continuity of a function. So here algebraic means, so what about some difference or product or quotient of two functions relevant to the continuity of a function? So here in case of this, that is algebra of continuity of a function, continuity of a function. So here, suppose if you are considering two functions f and g, you may add, you may subtract, or you may subtract. Third property, you may multiply function by constant. So in all these cases, what happens? Either sum or difference or product or a constant multiplied by a function at the point x is equal to c is always continuous. It means f plus g is continuous at the point x equal to c. Difference of two functions is continuous at the point x equal to c. Product of two function is also continuous at the point x equal to c, and a constant multiplied by function is also continuous at x equal to c. So this is how in case of continuity of a function. So next is, so these things are very useful to solve the examples. Next, orally I am telling, suppose f and g are two real valued functions such that f composite g is defined at c. If g is continuous at c and f is continuous at c, then f composite g is also continuous at c. So it means, just reminding, f is one function, g is another function, two real valued functions, such that f composite g is defined at c, then f composite g is also continuous at the defined point x equal to c. Next, one more important thing, if f is continuous function, so what about modulus of this function? So modulus of function f is also continuous. So this is just, these things are very useful to solve the example or straightforward. Some examples are also there asked. So next come to the definition of differentiality. So in other words, definition of derivative or differentiability. So what is the differentiation of differentiability? What is the definition of Only 1 minute. Definition of differentiability. So now here first definition of differentiability. So here first a function we are going to consider a function f of x is said to be differentiable at x equal to a, is said to be differentiable at x is equal to a if left hand derivative is equal to right hand derivative at x is equal to a. In other, just overall facts, left hand derivative is equal to right hand derivative, not left hand limit. D stands for derivative, left hand derivative, right hand derivative. The function f of x is said to be differentiable at a point x equal to a if left hand derivative is equal to right hand derivative at x. Left hand derivative is equal to right hand derivative. This is overall definition. So in terms of quantity, what is right hand derivative? How much? How we are representing right hand derivative and left hand derivative? So here right hand derivative. So right hand derivative. So what is right hand derivative? So right hand derivative is represented by usually s or h only, and sometimes we may use r of f dash of a also. R of f dash of a is equal to see limit x tends to limit f, that is limit h tends to 0 f of a plus h minus f of a divided by h. So this is right hand derivative. So next LHV, that is left hand derivative, L dash of f of a. So slight difference only. Same limit h tends to 0, f of instead of a plus h, f of a minus h minus of f of a whole divided by h. So this is the quantity representing right hand derivative and this is the left hand derivative. Both are same with a slight difference. Here it is minus h, f of minus ah. This is a plus h, this is a plus h. So only remember minus h, a minus h, a plus h, plus h. So like this first remember. So next we are moving towards next some properties, some quantities there. So in other words, first we can say that this is a property. Every differentiable function is continuous. Every differentiable function is continuous, but every continuous function is not differentiable. Remember, every differentiable function is continuous. Every continuous function is not differentiable. In other words, we can't use the vice versa. Every differentiable function is continuous, whereas every continuous function may be differentiable, may not be differentiable. Okay. So in one word we can use the differentiation definition. We can write the process of finding derivative function is called differentiation. The process of finding the derivative function is called differentiation. So after this very important thing that already listed in case of UC first year, that is rules of differentiation. So it means if you are having the given function, there are two functions. They are given, one is f of x, another one is g of x. There are two functions they are given. If you want to differentiate the two functions f of x, g of x, they may be sum, they may be difference, they may be product, they may be in division, that is called as a quotient. At that time is it possible? If it is possible, how it is possible, which type of formula we are using, that we are going to discuss. In other words, sum or difference of derivative of two functions. So if y is equal to the function f of x plus sum or difference or plus or minus of g of x, then how it is possible to differentiate the given function? Then divide differentiation of the function with respect to x represented by dy by dx, then d by dx of f of x plus or minus d by dx of g of x. So like this is the first formula, sum or difference of two functions. So after this, if the given function, so generally I have written, don't get confusion, it means if the given functions are in sum, then we are writing that on RHS plus symbol. If it is minus difference, we are writing the minus symbol. So this is sum or difference. So instead of sum or difference, there may be a possibility that we may have the function in product. So that is called it as a product rule also. That is the product rule of differentiation. Product rule. So what is the product rule? Again, if you want to differentiate the given function of the type f of x into g of x, then if you want to differentiate, then differentiation of y with respect to x is represented with dy by dx. So here the formula says that first function as it is, take the derivative of second function d by dx of g of x. So here especially you have to remember plus symbol important. Next, which function you have differentiated earlier, g of x, write down that one and take the derivative of the first function d by dx of f of x. So this is this is called as a product rule. Okay. So now last important ones like difficult to remember. That one is quotient rule. So what is quotient rule? So here, if the given function is y is equal to numerator f of x divided by denominator g of x, then if you want to differentiate dy by dx or differentiation of y with respect to x, so it is very easy that here denominator we are getting when denominator number 4 raised to square, and here denominator as it is, take the derivative of numerator minus numerator as it is, take the derivative of denominator. So this is a formula of quotient rule, that is denominator always to square, denominator as it is, take the derivative of numerator minus sign, and numerator as it is, take the derivative of denominator. This is called as, that is quotient rule. Okay. So now after this come to the PUC second year differential. Usually these things are studied, but we may need these things at any cost. That's why we have studied, and these things are also there in second PU. Next important thing is chain rule. In other words, differentiation of composite functions. Differentiation of composite functions, in other words, differentiation of composite functions. So here there may be a possibility of the type, that is the straightforward an example I am giving. So you are very familiar with y is equal to sin x, then you are going to find y dash is equal to cos x, no problem. So here if the given function is instead of sin x, x is replaced by log x. So here the variable y is having two functions. In other words, y is expressed in terms of two functions. One is trigonometric function and another one is logarithmic function. Then either any of the formula or any of the concept we can't use to differentiate. You may feel that derivative of sin x is cos x, like that only it is possible to write, or derivative of log x 1 by x we may write, that is in other words, we may write the answer dy by dx is equal to, some students they have written, I have experienced, cos x, sin x derivative is cos x, and next to log x derivative they are writing 1 by x like this, but this answer is wrong. So here to differentiate a function of this type, it means if the given function is a composite function, It means that is the given function. If the given function is of the type y is equal to a function of u and u is a function of g of x, y is a function of u is a function of g of x, then ultimately if you want to find a dy by dx of the given function, then dy by dx into dy by dx is equal to dy by du and du divided by dx. So this is nothing but this is called as a chain rule. So try to remember, if y is equal to f of u is a function of a g of x, then y is a function of a function. And this type of function, as we know that, it's called as a composite function. To differentiate a function of the type or a composite function, we are using the chain rule. This thing is called as a chain rule. In other words, I have explained previously what is chain rule and how it is applied. Straightforward practical way of solving the example of relevant to the chain rule I am explaining. So now, in case of chain rule, indirect way of it. For example, just I am giving an example, just that is sine of log x if it is there to differentiate. To differentiate this function with respect to x, dy by dx is equal to just differentiation of sin x is cos log x. So next, that is sine of u, we treat this log x as a box. Sine of box is cos of box. Box contains log x derivative is 1 by x. So this is the finalized diagram. So this is how go on differentiate all the function in order, one after the another. Then we are getting a quantity. That quantity is nothing but the derivative of the given function, which we are calling it as a composite function. It means the given, if any function is expressed two or more function, if y is expressed, in other words, y is a function of a function, y is a function of u is a function of x. So y is a function of a function. This is called as a composite function. This is how we are using to differentiate the given function. If it is composite or a function of a function, we are making use the chain rule. So next, after studying the chain rule, why we are using chain rule? Because any of the formula, any of the quantity we can't use to differentiate a function of this type, which are composite. We are using the composite. We are using the chain rule to differentiate composite function. So next starts next one more thing. If any function of the type x to the power x, or if any function of the type sin x to the power x, generally variable raised to variable, if it is there, so then what we have to do? In other words, these things we are going to study differentiation of, that is logarithmic functions. So in other words, logarithmic, this one is called as logarithmic differentiation. So it is a logarithmic function, especially if any function of the type variable raised to variable. In other words, if it is y is equal to, base f of x, that is if y is equal to f of x whole raised to g of x, then to find dy by dx of this function, directly we can write one formula. Also, this is equal to f of x whole raised to g of x. This whole quantity is multiplied by g of x divided by f of x into f dash of x plus g dash of x into log of f of x. So this is the quantity that you may generalize behind the logarithmic differentiation. So after this logarithmic differentiation, we are having the next differentiation, or the given function, if they may give in addition to like this, then there is a possibility of giving like this also. In other words, we are calling the concept differentiation of parametric functions or functions in parametric form. Parametric form. So here, suppose x is equal to f of t, comma, y is equal to g of t. There are two parametric equations. In other words, x is one parametric equation, x is a function of t, y is a function of t, g of t, where t is called as a parameter. Then if you want to differentiate a function of the type, that is dy by dx is equal to, that is numerator dy by dt and the denominator dx by dt, provided denominator dx by dt is not equal to 0. So this is how the parametric differentiation concept is there. So here parametric differentiation, when we are going to apply, if they are in two parametric equation, that is y or x, both are expressed in terms of a one parameter t, they may give t, theta, whatever it may be, then this formula we are going to use to differentiate the function of the type parametric equation. Parametric functions are equations. So now here itself I am continuing again regarding the second derivative. After that we are restoring the formula. Here second derivative straightforward, simple. In brief I am explaining second order derivative. Second order derivative. So what is the second order derivative? That is if the given function is of the type y is equal to f of x. So it is possible to differentiate this dy by dx is equal to f dash of x once we are differentiating. So then what happens? d by dx of what? d by dx of dy by dx. Like this. Once again we are differentiating this dy by dx with respect to x. This is represented by d2y divided by dx square. In other words, this may represent f double dash. This representation is important. This representation we have got like this because of the given function we are differentiating with respect to same variable x twice. We have differentiated the given function twice. So this one is called as a second derivative. So now after studying second derivative, just I am list outing the derivative formula. So especially we have not studied in PUC first year inverse trigonometric function. So in case of second year only we have studied. That's why I am going on reminding and list outing all those things. With that, if it is possible, I am completing the discussion. So now this we are going to study some standard derivatives, some standard derivatives. So now, so here only I am starting derivatives of inverse trigonometric function. Inverse trigonometric functions. This I am starting. Usually you know algebraic, logarithmic or ordinary trigonometric functions you know. That's I am not restoring, not explaining. So first function, derivative of sine inverse x. Derivative of sine inverse x is 1 compulsory divided by compulsory square root 1 minus of x square. So next, derivative of Next, inverse trigonometric function. Derivative of cos inverse x is minus 1 divided by square root of 1 minus of x square. Next, third one is d by dx of tan inverse x. D by dx of tan inverse x is 1 is compulsory, divided by compulsory, this one constant compulsory, x square, but root is not there for derivative of tan inverse x. So these three are like this. Once again, derivative of any c function starting with c is minus, so we have got here minus. So now remaining three we are going to list out, and whichever or whatever the trigonometric function or inverse trigonometric function starting with c, that is having the sign as minus. So fourth one, d by dx of very simple derivative of, I am listing first chord. This is very simple, c, because of that inverse trigonometric function starting with c, minus, just change the sign of tan inverse 1 divided by 1 plus of x square. Fifth trigonometric function, d by dx of sec inverse x, d by dx of sec inverse x is 1 divided by x times of square root of not 1 minus x square, it is x square minus 1. This is an important thing. And lastly, d by dx of cosec inverse x, d by dx of cosec inverse x is minus, just extra for the sec inverse, and this whole divided by x times of x square minus 1. So these are the list of formulas of inverse trigonometric function. So no doubt in a discussion of the tomorrow CET paper, we are going to discuss the examples based on all this. In addition to that, some just now as earlier I have told you people that there are some trigonometric functions which we are going to we are making substitution method to differentiate. That type of things we are going to discuss tomorrow, and those things as well as questions we are going to discuss on tomorrow. With this I am going to stop today discussion. Thank you very much.